somewhere beneath the shifting skin of the Arctic Ocean, where light fractures into silence, and sound travels farther than sight ever could, something moves, not fast, not clean, not natural, at least not at first glance. A pale shape drifts through the black water, its body uneven, encrusted, alive with things that should not be there. And yet, it breathes. Far above, the ice stretches endlessly, a ceiling of frozen pressure, sealing off a world few will ever see. Below it lives the beluga whale, a creature often called the canary of the sea, known for its smooth white skin, its intelligence, its haunting calls. But here, in the coldest and most isolated regions, some belugas carry something else, a burden. Clusters of life cling to their bodies, dense colonies of barnacles, spiral-shelled whelks, and soft, branching growths known as hydroids. In most oceans, these organisms settle on rocks, ship hulls, or the slow-moving giants of the deep. But belugas are not slow. They are agile, social, constantly moving. So why do these colonies thrive here? Scientists believe the answer lies in the extreme stillness of this environment. In these icy waters, energy is scarce, movement is costly, and sometimes, even a whale slows down. But this raises a larger question. What happens when a living, breathing animal becomes an ecosystem? On the whale's skin, life builds upward. Barnacles anchor themselves first, tiny larvae drifting through the water until they find something solid. Once attached, they harden into living stone. Then come the hydroids, delicate, branching organisms that resemble underwater frost. They feed by extending microscopic tentacles, capturing whatever drifts by. And finally, the whelks, slow-moving predators, crawl across this living terrain, feeding on smaller organisms, turning the whale's body into a moving food chain. This is not random. It's a layered invasion, each species creating conditions for the next. The whale becomes more than an animal. It becomes habitat. But the Arctic is unforgiving. Temperatures plunge below freezing. Salt crystallizes. Ice forms without warning. To survive here, these organisms have evolved antifreeze proteins, molecules that prevent their cells from freezing solid. In a place where even water betrays life, they persist. Still, scientists don't fully understand how such heavy overgrowth affects the beluga itself. Does it slow them down, disrupt their communication, or worse, make them vulnerable? A beluga's skin is meant to be smooth. It sheds its outer layer regularly, a process that helps remove parasites and maintain speed. But in colder, less active regions, this shedding slows. And that's when the accumulation begins. Over time, the whale changes. Its streamlined form becomes uneven, its movement more deliberate, its energy redirected not just toward survival, but toward carrying an entire community. This is not symbiosis in the traditional sense. The barnacles do not help the whale. The hydroids do not guide it. The whelks do not protect it. They simply exist. And yet, the whale continues to swim. This raises an unsettling idea. How much can a creature endure before it is no longer just itself? In the Arctic depths, vision fails. Light barely penetrates the ice. Shapes dissolve into shadow. So the beluga relies on something else. Sound. Through echolocation, it maps the world using clicks and echoes. Every object, every surface, every movement returns a signal. But what happens when that surface, its own body, is no longer smooth? When echoes scatter, distort, fragment? Scientists suspect that heavy biological overgrowth may interfere with this process, altering how sound reflects, changing how the whale perceives its surroundings. In a world built on sound, even the slightest distortion can mean the difference between navigation and confusion. And still, these whales persist, which leads to another mystery. Are they adapting to the burden, or simply surviving it? Very few of these whales are ever observed. The Arctic hides them well. The ice shifts, the seasons change, and what we glimpse is often fleeting, incomplete. Some researchers believe this phenomenon may be increasing, linked to changes in water temperature or shifting ecosystems caused by a warming planet. Others think it has always existed, hidden in the depths, unnoticed. What we've discovered only deepens the mystery. Are these whales outliers, or signs of something larger, something changing quietly beneath the ice? The ocean does not reveal its secrets easily. For every creature we understand, there are countless others, transformed by forces we barely comprehend. A beluga whale, once a symbol of purity and grace, now carrying the weight of an entire ecosystem, still swimming, still breathing, still unknown. And somewhere, in the cold silence beneath the ice, it disappears again into the dark, reminding us that even in a world we think we know, there are depths we have barely begun to imagine.